This video is going to really get into the details now of how to make your face look more 3D. As we mentioned before, light is coming from this way, so I want this side to generally stay lighter, and this side over here is going to get a little darker. So here's how I go about it. I've got my pre-mixed darker color. It's basically just a mixture of brown and some yellow and a little bit of orange in there. I'm just going to start to pick out areas where I think it'd be darker. So typically on your face, the areas of darkness are going to be up the side of the face that is opposite of the light source. So up this side of the face, and it's going to be really dark at first. We're going to see a really big difference between our dark tone and our original skin tone. So up the side of the face, in the sides of the ear here, so inside of the folds of the ear are going to be a little bit darker. Down the side of the nose, it's going to be a little darker. Around the nose, it's going to be a little darker. Under and over the eye, we're trying to make it look like there's eye sockets. Same thing over here. Even though that's close to the light source, it's still going to be pretty dark. Down the other side of the nose, it's going to be a little darker. Inside the philtrum, that little bump in between your nose and your mouth. Under your mouth, it's going to be a little darker. Inside the other ear, even though light is shining directly from that side, not all of it is going to get inside that ear. Now, there's also going to be something happening up near your hair. Your hair is actually going to cast a little bit of a shadow down onto your forehead and onto the side of your head as well. We don't want to make it look like your hair is just kind of floating above your head. We want it to look like it's attached to your head. Now, you're not just going to leave it like this. This is when you're going to use a brush that has just got some water on it. Now we're going to start to blend these away so that it's not such a harsh contrast between the shadow and the light area. So we're taking a brush that just has water on it. We're just going to start to blend this away. I love watercolor because it's not ever permanent. You can always blend stuff away that's starting to look a little too dark or a little bit too light. All right, same thing over here. I don't want this to be so dark. All right, so I'm coming around the eyes, starting to blend this part out. All I'm doing now, this is just water. Okay, so nothing more than me dipping into water. No more paint is going to be used for this next part. Really just all water. You just don't want that change from dark to light to be so drastic. All right, same thing over here. Underneath the eyes, we're going to blend this away using just water. The water is going to pretty much bring the paint back to life. So even if you feel like your paint has dried off and it's lost, it really is never gone until we spray some kind of fixative on it, like right up against the hairline here. It's all going to be a little darker. Coming up around the side here. And all I'm doing is just using water. Okay. Water on a brush that has no other paint on it. It's just water. I want to leave these areas pretty wet because this is where you have to move kind of fast. Because now I'm going to take a brush over here that has not been used at all. This is completely dry, as you can see, has no paint on it, and this is going to do the rest of the blending for us. This is going to blend it out to a point where it looks a little more natural. That's why I was saying earlier this has to happen pretty fast because you want to make it happen as the water is still wet on the face. So that's why I'm going through pretty rapidly. And once you start to hear that scratchy sound, that's when you know, oh, I might be running out of water. I might need to go in for a refill. So I'm going to go back in for some more water and start to blend these out even more. There are some areas I'm just going to leave alone, like the very front of the nose. That's going to be your lightest area, so I'm going to leave that right alone. This is a good first layer. I can keep going back to this and darkening it up and punching up the color even more so that the face has even more dimension. So this is a good first layer. I'm going to go back over and do it again. So I went over it with another layer of that darker color, and the more you go over it, the more it's just going to really punch up those colors and make it look really nice. So that is how you want to start applying the skin tone to make it look a little more 3D.